because I can't do anything.
Well, we have got dangerously high temperatures across the DMV for today. A heat advisory out, and I would not be surprised if we get another one heading into tomorrow. So watch out for another weather watch alert heading towards the middle part of the week.
All right, and we're following some breaking news in the skies right now at 4, while Airlines had to ground every single flight nationwide.
Plus, did you experience more traffic than usual today? If so, you're not alone. We're tracking road conditions on the day that has come to be known as Terrible Traffic Tuesday.
WUSA9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
And we began the news at 4 o'clock with the Weather Watch Alert. Here's a live look at National Airport there. And we are currently in the midst of a heat wave across our region.
And because of that, D.C. has activated its heat emergency plan less than 3 hours ago. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser tweeted out some ways that you can keep you and your family safe in this heat. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Leslie Foster.
Good to see you. I'm Lorenzo Hall. Let's get to meteorologist Michaela Lucero. She is tracking the heat and has more in D.C.'s most accurate forecast. We're getting used to this now, Michaela.
Well, don't get too used to it, you guys. We have got a nice cool off on the way for our region, but we do still have at least 2 more days of this sweltering heat. Right now, we're sitting at 97 degrees out at National Airport. Feels like 102. Now, here's what's crazy. Our humidity value is only at 39%, so it's really not too sticky out there, but the little bit of humidity we have is already making it feel about 5 degrees warmer than what your thermometer is reading at. Here's a few other high temperatures across the region. This came into our newsroom just about a minute and a half ago. Feels like 97 right now in DC, 95 in Gaithersburg, 99 in Frederick, 96 in Fredericksburg, upper 90s as you head further out towards that I-81 corridor. All of us are under some dangerously hot temperatures. Now, here is a look at what our current heat advisory looks like. It's for most of the DMV. It's in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. So all these areas that you see here in orange, you could be feeling temperatures close to 105 degrees as we continue throughout the day today. Now, we do only have this in effect for today, but I would not be surprised if we get another one tomorrow. Tomorrow's expected to be even hotter, so we might even get a heat warning for tomorrow. As of now, haven't seen that come out, but I would not be surprised if that is what we see issued as we get into the middle part of the week. So something to keep in mind for any of those outdoor plans. If you're looking to get some relief from the heat, maybe doing a little traveling, well, you can't get it on the East Coast. It is hot no matter where you're headed. Pretty much everywhere east of the Mississippi is under this heat wave, and we'll continue with it today and into tomorrow. 90 still in the forecast for Thursday, Friday, but we'll have some rain-cooled air sneaking into the region, which will help cool us down a little bit. Guys.
Okay, Michaela, thank you. And as we deal with this extreme heat, students at Horace Mann Elementary School still have no working AC, and rightfully, parents are frustrated, saying children and teachers deserve better learning conditions.
Yeah, it sounds like that's putting health and safety at risk.
Yeah.
Our WUSA9's Leslie Moreno joins us live at the school. She spoke with the Ward 3 council member, Matt Fruman, who says this has been an issue since before the school opened. So is there any progress being made here yet, Leslie?
Oh, well, guys, the school here has been waiting on parts for over a month, and they're still waiting for just one piece. So the school here is getting creative with keeping children cool, but it's not an ideal situation. We spoke with Ward 3 Councilman Matt Fruman. He toured the school today after getting several complaints from parents about the broken AC. As of this morning, the older building, which houses about 100 young children, still has no working AC. Councilman Fruman says it's currently about 82 degrees inside. The school has chillers in the building, which have been reconfigured, and he says are working much better than yesterday. We were also told 6 window air conditioners will be installed tonight and be ready to go first thing in the morning. And frustrated parents have reached out to the Department of General Services to put in work orders. It appears HVAC and cooling issues are spread out across the district. Yesterday, their website showed they had 841 open work orders for HVAC issues. Today, that number is at 844. And I do want to mention we did see crews out here this morning getting some repairs done for those parts that did come in. But again, no word on when that last missing piece will make it to the school. Guys.
Yeah, this sounds like a problem they certainly should have had rectified long before school started. Leslie, thank you. And we know this type of heat is dangerous, and our team is trying to help you stay cool. Just text HEAT to that number on your screen, 202-895-5599, and we will send you a link of resources right to your phone.
All right, we're following some breaking news about United Airlines. Our Larry Miller is here with us in the studio tracking the status of the flights right now. So, Larry, what do you see?
All right, so things are getting a little bit better. Leslie, good afternoon to you. And of course, good afternoon to you at home. We're going to give you a breaking news update right now on that ground stop issued by United earlier this afternoon. About an hour after that ground stop was issued, we're told that the airline identified a fix. Here's what they said in a tweet. They said that we identified a fix for the technology issue and flights have resumed. We're working with impacted customers to help them reach their destinations as soon as possible. Now, we sent Sky9 to Dulles International Airport. United operates several flights in and out of that airport. We were able to see United flights taking off from the one-way. Certainly good news for drivers that were delayed momentarily as a result of this issue this afternoon. Let's talk about FlightAware right now. That's a good place if you're trying to get updates on whether or not flights are leaving out of town on time. We just checked over in DC here, all of our airports in the area. That's DCA, BWI, as well as Dulles. Right now, we're tracking about 25 delays between the three airports, but certainly those delay times are starting to come down and things are getting back to normal. Lorenzo?
All right, Larry, thank you. Good news for sure.
Uh-huh.
All right, so with Labor Day behind us, kids are back in school and many vacations, they've come to an end.
That means the roadways are a little more busy. It's a day sometimes referred to as Terrible Traffic Tuesday. Our Evan Kosloff is out on the roads live in Eco9 to give us a live look on how traffic's looking on I-66. So how terrible is Terrible Traffic Tuesday?
Well, look, Leslie, it's early in the evening commute. So for now, it's actually not bad. Why don't we show you what it looks like from outside of Eco9? And you can see, yeah, we're just following a few cars here as we go along I-66. Let's talk about that name, Terrible Traffic Tuesday. So it was coined by AAA several years ago, and it recognizes that really tough traffic day when everybody goes back onto their commute. It was the talk of the newsroom today. Some people saying they had 15-minute delays, others saying that they had 30-minute delays. I spoke with one person for this story who said that his commute was delayed by an hour. Take a listen.
Bumper to bumper, people in the right lane trying to keep others from getting in front of them. I mean, people are really crazy sometimes hogging the lanes. I might have taken it an hour before, but never an hour and a half. It was the worst one.
So he was not alone here. Take a look at some of the other social media comments that we had. One person put it well when they said, traffic is out of control today. Leslie?
We know it's a big traffic day, but let's talk about the big picture because you're also checking out how this traffic compares to sort of pre-pandemic levels. So what'd you find there?
So we found one July report from a company called INRIX. They're tracking this type of thing, and they found, basically by looking at GPS data, they found that downtown traffic is still well below pre-COVID levels. In fact, listen to this, in DC and Baltimore, it's down by some 24%. So that's the situation in the long term. But for today, let's take one look from another angle here in Eco9. You can see at this point, it's early in the evening. Traffic's not too bad. Guys?
We call it terrible, but it just might be terrific right now.
My drive-in wasn't that bad either, so I'm hoping we can keep this up, you know?
Let's keep the good energy going.
All right, Evan, thank you. You be safe out there, too. All right, meanwhile, tonight, an investigation is underway after disturbing new video was posted to social media. You might have seen this. It shows a Prince George's County police officer in uniform there, hugging what appears to be a woman, and then getting in the back of his police car with that person. It's been viewed millions of times already, and a lot of people are certainly reacting to this. Our Rafael Sanchez Cruz is live from South Lawn Neighborhood Park in Oxon Hill, where this all happened. And Rafa, what have you learned about this?
Hey, Lorenzo. Well, so far we know, like you mentioned, that it happened here at South Lawn Neighborhood Park in Oxon Hill, Maryland. We're right next to Oxon Hill High School. I've been on the phone with Prince George's County Police all day, and they're telling me this afternoon that their internal affairs unit has opened an investigation into the officer, as well as the conduct of that officer seen in the video. I'm going to walk you through that. Now, the man who recorded this viral video says it all happened at the Southland Park yesterday around 7 in the the evening. At first, you can see the Prince George's County police officer's arms wrapped around the woman's waist. It appears that he kisses her on the head. The officer in uniform then walks with his arm around her shoulder. She attempts to open the Prince George's County police car door, which is locked. He unlocks it for her, and she proceeds to get in the back of the cruiser, and he follows and closes the door. This is all going on as children are seen running in the park, and according to neighbors, there were several families with kids present when this all took place. Now, this viral video has prompted others to share a similar situation at another Prince George's County park. A woman exits a silver car and she proceeds to get into the back of the Prince George's County Police SUV 6077. The police department posted on their social media accounts that their executive command knows about the video, and they also added that as soon as they became aware earlier today, they opened an investigation to determine the circumstances, but that's really all we've gotten from police. Of course, we're wondering if that person was on the clock, the officer was on the clock when this all took place. We're still waiting for an answer. We expect to get that for 5 and 6, so of course, we'll stay on top of it. I'm live in Oxon Hill, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA9.
Yeah, a lot to get to the bottom of here, Rafa. Thank you. All right, covering D.C. now. We just got our hands on new numbers from D.C. police showing just how many teens violated the youth curfew this past weekend. D.C. police report 4 teens who were out in the 7 areas of focus throughout the district. All 4 of those teens were taken to the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services where their parents arrived to pick them up. Those numbers are expected to be updated every Tuesday.
At this hour, we know the search is on for a convicted killer on the run in Pennsylvania. We'll tell you why police believe they may have him cornered.
You've heard of electric cars, trucks, even 18-wheelers, but what about school buses? I'm Skylar Henry in Virginia with a look at how school districts across the country are doing their part to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
And we've got sweltering heat across the entire DMV, and we're not done with it yet. More heat on the way for tomorrow. I'll break down that extended forecast coming up after this break.
Now to some developing news out of Pennsylvania. A massive manhunt has intensified after a convicted killer escaped a prison near Philadelphia. Danilo Cavalcante has been on the run for 5 days now. Police say he was seen on surveillance video in the area 4 times already. Now, authorities say rough terrain and dense woods are complicating efforts to capture him, but police believe they have him surrounded in their 2-mile search area.
I want to push him hard. He'll make mistakes. He'll show himself.
We want it to be over. It's been a really scary couple of days here in the community.
Yeah, Beth, this comes nearly a week after Cavalcanti was sentenced to life without parole for murdering his girlfriend in front of her 2 young children back in 2021. After the deadly stabbing, Cavalcanti fled to Fairfax County, where he was taken into custody.
To South Carolina now, and a bombshell from the lawyer representing convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh. His attorney filed a new motion today seeking a trial. Now, Murdaugh was found guilty of killing his wife and the couple's youngest son in 2021. His lawyer now accuses the courtroom clerk of jury tampering. Murdaugh was once a prominent South Carolina lawyer. He's now serving 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole.
All right, we have an update today on the health of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The physician for the Capitol says an exam found no evidence of strokes or seizures or a disease like Parkinson's. Concerns about McConnell's health began after he froze in front of reporters last week. You might remember that. It was the second time it happened in recent weeks. At 81 years old, the Kentucky Republican is the longest serving U.S. senator. Well, as students began the new school year, thousands of school buses nationwide are getting overhauled with these new electric models you see right there. Top manufacturers are looking to address environmental and noise concerns. Skylar Henry shows us how districts are flipping the switch to go green. That includes one district here in our region.
Good morning. Charles Washington's part-time retirement job, driving a school bus, has changed in the 5 years since he's hopped in the driver's seat.
You guys remember, on the electric bus, you have to use your quiet voice.
When you first turn the vehicle on, you don't even know that it's on.
A study found diesel-fueled buses were some of the biggest carbon emissions culprits in Falls Church, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. It's why the school system made a move to get e-buses on the road. Districts nationwide are doing the same. The World Resource Institute says as of December 2022, more than 5,600 school buses have been awarded, ordered, delivered, or are operating in the U.S. The push for more e-buses is keeping top manufacturers busy, including the Bluebird Corporation.
Boston is a great example where we have a fantastic partnership. They've got around 1,200 school buses on the road today, all Bluebird. And they're planning to electrify fully, but they're rolling it out in stages.
Company president Britton Smith says Bluebird has more than 1,000 e-buses on the road, which can travel up to 130 miles on a single charge. And while their goal isn't turning the entire fleet electric, with some districts preferring an EPA clean energy propane-fueled option, addressing environmental concerns is a top priority. Like many automakers, bus manufacturers say meeting the demand will take time.
Have a good day. Okay.
Washington, who volunteered to drive an e-school bus first, says it's well worth the wait. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Falls Church, Virginia.
WUSA9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
We are under a weather watch alert this afternoon, because we're experiencing possible record-breaking temperatures here in the DMV. If you've been out, I'm sure you know. It's hot.
See, now this is a day when everybody's having a hot flash, not just me. It's hot.
It's hot, and we actually have already broken some records. We've tied the record at Reagan, National. Topper told me I always call it National. Tied the record at National, broke the record in Baltimore, broke the record in Dulles.
So are we going to break any records?
I just looked at them, so I'm trying to remember them.
We're going to break any records tomorrow?
Potentially even more record-breaking temperatures tomorrow. Yeah, right now I'm forecasting 99 for tomorrow, but check this out.
I'm telling you, this is why we don't wear socks.
I know.
It's
Oh
hot.
my gosh.
Hot.
It is hot. You don't wear socks? Don't tell that to people, Lorenzo. Keep that to yourself. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's
socks
talk
on, like the little ankle socks.
Let's talk about our current feels-like temperatures. Right now, it is sweltering outside. It feels like 103 at DCA. We're feeling that 102 in Manassas. 98 is what it feels like in Leesburg. 98 in Frederick. 100 in Baltimore. So that's what we're working with right now. As we move throughout the rest of the evening, temperatures are going to fall into the 70s for areas around D.C. and in D.C. It is going to be a very, very warm night across the entire region. A little bit cooler as you head further out towards the west, but most of us are going to be very, very unseasonably warm. Waking up tomorrow morning, we are at 76 in D.C., 72 for Leesburg, 67 in Martinsburg, 64 for Front Royal, feeling like the low 70s as you head further out towards the eastern shore. When we break down your Wednesday forecast, waking up to clear sunny skies, and that's the story all day long. We're not going to see a whole lot of cloud cover to bring us some relief from that heat, so it is going to be another very, very hot day. Right now, we're expecting temperatures temperatures to make it into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. So here are a few things to keep in mind when we do have such hot weather. Check the back seats. I know a lot of us probably have our kiddos headed back to school. Some of them probably aren't in school. So if you've got one in a car seat and 3 that are getting out to go to class, make sure that you remember to check the back seat again when you get home, and check the back seat for those 4-legged friends. Stay nice and hydrated, drinking water and beverages with electrolytes, and take breaks in the shade or the AC if you can, especially if you work outside or maybe you spend some extra time playing outdoors. All right, here we go for your 5-day temperature trend. 99, 94, 91. Those are the next 3 days. And then we get back into the 80s as we head into the weekend. But with those 80s comes a chance for some wet weather. Here's what it looks like on Futurecast. We're watching for those showers coming through mainly on Thursday. And here's what that plays out to be. Thursday morning, a few showers out west, developing into the afternoon with pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall around commute times for the I-81 corridor. Those showers and storms ride I-81 between about 6 to 8 o'clock, dropping heavy rainfall. So for your commute home, you'll probably have to use those windshield wipers off and on. We'll watch some lingering showers getting into Friday with another round of pretty heavy rain coming Friday afternoon and Saturday as well. Now, thankfully, our temps are on their way down. We're back to the 80s over the weekend, and we do have 70s in the extended. I'm saying 77 on Thursday, 78 by Friday of next week. So big picture Futurecast here, widespread showers for the weekend, but thankfully it is going to drop those temperatures significantly, but it's probably going to be one of those weekends where it feels a little more like fall, that we can spend it inside. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. We're going to watch for a weather watch alert day for tomorrow for your Wednesday because of another day of dangerous heat. And then we'll continue with the 90s through the end of the work week, but 80s are back around by Saturday and Sunday.
All right, we just got to wait till the end of the week to get there. All right, our environment matters, and that's why WUSA9, Washington Gas, and the Smithsonian Science Education Center have joined together to bring you the Eco Challenge. We're calling on middle school teachers to enter your student's environment project. You'll get free Smithsonian learning materials, and you could win $5,000 to develop your project. To enter, just scan this QR code or head to WUSA9.com/Eco Challenge.
All right, still ahead here tonight, a Labor Day party at the pier. You know, what could go wrong except that there?
Ooh,
yeah,
everything.
It might have been a bit too packed. We'll talk more about what unfolded here in just a minute. Stay right here. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a story a lot of people are talking about online today. A few dozen University of Wisconsin students were out enjoying their Labor Day on the pier in Lake Mendota. Then suddenly, you're about to see in just a minute, the whole pier, there it is. It just collapses.
So we counted, there were over 60 people out on that dock before it came crashing down.
At first I was like, oh my God, what was that noise? And then it was like fight or flight. I was like, oh my God, all my stuff's on the dock. Like, is everyone okay? Swing back as fast as I can. And then we kind of stood on the dock as it was collapsing a little bit for a little while. Like, should we swim back? We have all our things. Everyone's just standing here. Like, it was like everyone froze.
Well, firefighters and EMS crews showed up to help people get out of the water. Divers were also called in to make sure that no one was trapped under the pier.
Yeah, it looks like it was in slow motion, too. One person had to be taken to the hospital
Right.
and several others had minor injuries. Thankfully, they're all expected to be okay.
I suppose when it's happening, you're like, is this
What do you
really
do?
happening?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on
Especially
here?
if you've had a few drinks at that point. You know?
Exactly. Boy, and you can understand why people would want to be out on the water that day
Yeah.
because it's nice and warm. You want
Summer,
a little
the end of summer.
respite. You got to be careful. I know people around this area may be looking for some respite with a little bit of water someplace. Hopefully,
Just a little bit?
Hopefully not on a dock that's going to collapse, though, Michaela.
Give me the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah, that's right. Considering we had record-breaking temperatures today, yesterday, and probably going to see some more tomorrow. All of our major cities, DCA, IAD, Baltimore as well, all broke records. I'll have a detailed look at these records coming up.
WUSA9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Today, we're staying on top of this Weather Watch Alert as we look live there at National Airport. People across the D.C. region doing whatever they can to beat the heat. I got to say, though, I'm thankful it's not as humid.
I think humidity
You're like,
is in
what?
the eye of the beholder. Like when you get some hair, then you can talk about humidity. This is humid outside,
Like,
right,
what?
Michaela? It's humid.
Yeah.
It's not as bad, though, no? Am I missing
yes,
something?
You are.
Okay. It isn't terribly humid, but it's humid enough and hot enough that the curls, some of us, our curls are either going away or some of us, our curls are coming back. Depends on what kind of hair you got. But it is a very hot day across the entire DMV and almost across the entire country. This orange color that you're seeing, that's where there are heat advisories out. And we've got them in Texas as well as Oklahoma, into Louisiana, portions of Arkansas, here in the Northeast as well. DC has them. Further up north, there are some as well. It is very, very hot. So we have got this heat advisory for all the counties you see there in orange. It's in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. I would not be surprised if another one is issued heading into tomorrow, because even hotter weather is on the way for your Wednesday. Right now, we could be feeling temperatures up to about 105 degrees as your feels like temperatures are. Your thermometer will be reading anywhere from about 98 to 100 degrees as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. So let's talk record high temps today. We have crushed the record. So at Reagan National, old record was 97. That was set over 100 years ago. New record today is 90. We've got a new record today, tied it as of now at 97. At Dulles, we are at 96. That was the old record. The new record is 97. And at BWI Marshall, old record 96. New record today is 98. A look outside from the Washington Monument from our Earth Cam. Blue skies and sunshine. Feels like 102 right now, with temperatures ranging from the upper 90s to 1 or 2 spots across our region, starting to get into that low triple digit mark. So feels like temps 92 or 102 in DC, 102 in Manassas, 99 is what it feels like in Culpeper. We've got 98 there in Leesburg. Feels like 100 as you head closer to Baltimore. It is a very, very hot evening. As we move throughout the rest of the day today, temperatures, they'll start to fall, but they won't start to feel a whole lot better. Clear skies tonight with temps falling into the 60s and 70s. Guys.
All right. Got to hold on a few more days for some relief. All right, if we need a little relief now, right, there are 2 local pools that are going to stay open a little longer. DC residents have until September 21st to swim at the Oxen Run and Hearst area pools, and these extended dates are a part of the DC Heat Emergency Plan.
All right, and DC cooling centers are also still open for people to go in and cool off from the heat. The district is also dispatching cooling buses around the city. We can help you connect with those resources. Just text HEAT to that number on your screen, 202-895-5599, and we will send you a link right to your phone. All right, with the summer travel season coming to an end, it's time for construction to begin on one of the main routes to and from the beach. Here's traffic specialist Lindsay Nance with the details.
A heads up if you live in Anne Arundel County, crews are repaving 50 East starting tonight. The work includes milling, paving, and restriping 1 mile of 50 East in between Whitehall Road all the way down to Oceanic Drive. That's really close by to the Sandy Point State Park, and it will affect beach traffic if you're heading towards the Bay Bridge. There will be lane and ramp closures Saturdays through Thursdays from 9 p.m. until 5 o'clock in the morning. Crews will also be working on a few ramps on 50. The first one is Bush's Frontage Road that leads to Pointless Forest Trail. That's exit 29A. And then the second one is the Oceanic Drive interchange to get you to the Sandy Point State Park. That's exit 32. Now, crews will have signs with detours in place while the work is going on, and it's expected to last until early October. Lindsay Nance, WUSA 9.
All right, looking ahead, next month, the bill is due again for federal student loan borrowers. Interest started accruing on those loans last week, and they were paused for the past 3 years because of the pandemic. Our Larry Miller is tracking how borrowers need to adjust their wallets before those payments resume. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Leslie. Well, after a 3-year suspension in payments, student loan borrowers will begin repaying their student loans next month. It's estimated 36 million people will begin paying back their student loans. 12 million of those borrowers will make their first payment for the first time. Experts suggest that the average repayment amount can range anywhere from $245 a month on undergraduate loans and $500 to more than $1,000 a month for borrowers with advanced degrees. Here are 3 things that you can do right now. Be prepared, be proactive, be patient.
two things. One is going to www.studentaid.gov and looking at the restart section of that website for the Department of Education, and make sure that the department and the servicers, because 40 or 50% of the services have changed since people last made a payment. So it's important that the servicers and the department have borrower's correct phone number, email, and mailing address. The other thing is to look at the various income-driven repayment programs that are on the website.
Now, the income repayment program adjusts payments based on your income, and then after so many years of paying, the remaining balance is discharged. Leslie?
Okay. And then there's also this pre-tax option for borrowers to repay their student loans too, right?
Yeah, there's actually a lot of people don't know about it. It's a provision in the CARES Act. It allows employers to pay up to $5,250 towards student loans on behalf of their employee. But that's a benefit companies would need to set up internally. So talk to your HR department about getting that started. Lorenzo?
Okay, Larry, thank you. And so we know school is back in full swing for most kids in our area. Just a few weeks into the new school year, several schools around the country have suspended in-person learning due to the spread of COVID-19 variants. Doctors say the new vaccine can help, but so will other basic health habits.
Keep up with washing those hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. And of course, if you're feeling sick, it's really best to stay home if at all possible. And indoors, proper ventilation actually makes a huge difference. So open those windows when you can and use air purifiers if you have them.
Yeah, stay home if you're sick. Don't forget that. CDC data shows cases and hospitalizations are on the rise nationwide. However, it's still far below the peaks of some of those years prior.
And speaking of COVID, right now, President Biden is being monitored for COVID-19 symptoms, and it comes as First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is dealing with mild symptoms after testing positive for the virus this week. Now, the First Lady is quarantining in their home in Delaware. The president tested negative for the virus and is back at the White House. Officials say he will be tested at regular intervals this week. President Biden is set to travel to India and to Vietnam on Thursday.
Well, I don't have to tell you, it is a hot day out there for the entire DMV, and more of this heat wave is on the way for your Wednesday. I'll break down your forecast coming up.
And the University of Maryland football team got a big win this past weekend, but the spotlight is about to get brighter for their next game. Hear how they're preparing for prime time in just a minute.
Looking ahead to tonight, in less than 4 hours, Hyattsville native Francis Tiafoe will try to advance to the semifinals at the U.S. Open quarterfinals. Now, to make it, Tiafoe has to beat another American, Ben Shelton, tonight in his quarterfinals match. They are scheduled to face each other around 8. Tiafoe is the 10th ranked men's player in the world. I know we're all going to be rooting for him here, and we'll, of course, update you on how well he does on the news at 11. But first, get your four-legged friends ready. The Washington Nationals' annual Pups at the Park begins in less than 3 hours. First pitch is at 7:05. I mean,
they're all so good.
They're so good, but it's also kind of hot for them. So if you plan on bringing your dog, they need a ticket. You want to make sure they don't overheat. But listen, if you can't make it tonight, you'll have one more chance later this month when hopefully it's not this hot.
I mean, did you see? They were standing in line,
They're
Les.
so cute.
Standing in line.
Yeah, I mean, that is great
Wow,
training. You
okay.
can tell. Wait, is he sitting in the
just
seat?
sitting in the seat. They're
with
sitting.
A hot dog costume on it,
these are
literally.
good, well-trained dogs.
They are.
I could never.
Look at that.
Okay, we could play this video all day.
Boomer would turn it up. You'd have the whole thing.
Sniffing everybody, scouting the park. All right, so college football is in full swing in College Park. University of Maryland Terps dominated their first game of the season against Towson. The final score, 38-6. Our Charlotte McBride was there and has a recap for us as the team gets ready for Saturday's primetime game.
Maryland kicked off its football season with a big win Saturday night, marking 18 consecutive home openers won by the Terps and setting the stage for a hopeful season ahead.
It's probably the most fans I've seen at game opener since I've been here, so I think that was really cool.
Fans and students packed the lower bowl of CQ Stadium and brought the energy.
The atmosphere was special, you know, it was very electric, and you know, like you can feed off of that crowd easy.
For Caden Prather, Saturday was worth the wait. A transfer from West Virginia, but a Northwest High School product out of Montgomery County. Prather had his first touchdown for the Terps in front of family and friends in the crowd.
Yeah, it was great to play in front of a lot of family. You know, at my other school, I would always have 1 or 2 people come in, but you know, I can have a handful of people now. So having all the support, you know, makes you always makes you feel play better.
The biggest performer of the night was undoubtedly quarterback Talia Tungavailoa. He eclipsed 8,000 yards passing at Maryland, the first Terps quarterback to accomplish such a feat.
I know you don't pay too much attention to milestones, but did you know that 8,000 was coming up on this one?
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I was surprised by that, but you know, it was a good feeling. It was a blessing.
Leo was pulled in the third quarter after the outcome was imminent, but threw for 260 yards and 3 touchdowns while rushing for another score.
Our quarterback is our strength, and I'm going to keep talking about we have to play to our strengths. And our quarterback strength is, or our offensive strength is the type of quarterback we have, the receivers we develop.
Saturday was also a big game for wide receiver Corey Dyches. The tight end from Potomac High School had a career-high 108-yard receiving game.
Dyches is a really good job of getting open, and you know, he's a playmaker just like all of our other guys.
But the Saturday celebrations have already subsided, and the focus is switched to the Terps primetime game this Saturday against Charlotte.
Really excited about it. Usually you see your biggest jump from game 1 to game 2, and I'm looking forward to getting us prepared to do that.
Kickoff is set for 7:30 Saturday night in College Park.
All right, we are 4 days, count them, 4 away from the
Just 4,
Commanders'
that's it.
home sold-out season opener to kick off the new season. The team announced some new coaching promotions. So we got a new run game coordinator, we got a new senior offensive assistant running backs coach, a new offensive line coach, and a new tight end coach.
New team there, huh? All right, to have a little fun, the team posted this on social media with the caption, "Mood at work" all week. That's all they're thinking about. Football.
I mean, you can understand why. And it's sold out. There's so much pressure and so much excitement. WUSA9 sports anchor Chick Hernandez just wrapped up his exclusive weekly interview with the Commanders head coach Ron Rivera. All season long, we're taking your questions on all things burgundy and gold to the coach himself. So text your questions to us at this number, 202-895-5599, and we'll have that interview with Coach Rivera ahead on the news at 5.
And don't forget to check out the game plan with Ron Rivera. The coach will break down the film, analyze players, and preview the upcoming game. It airs Sunday mornings at 8:30 right after Wake Up Washington and will be must-watch TV for Commanders fans.
WUSA9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
All right, we know it's hot now. We're in the midst of a heat wave. Sunday's game, is that going to be
Right
oppressively
now, I'm
hot?
tracking tracking some showers, but
Okay.
here's the thing. Let's get a little sciencey for a second. We've got some frontal systems coming through. Now, it's kind of slow. It's taking its time. If it speeds up and is out of here by Saturday night, Sunday's going to be gorgeous.
Okay.
If it stays at the pace that it's at right now, we'll probably see some showers on Sunday. Might be a little soggy. I believe the game's at 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
so it could be a little bit on the soggy side. But honestly, I'd rather it be a little gloomy and kind of cooler than what we've been experiencing these last few days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll continue to track it, but that's kind of what we're working with right now. And we'll talk a little bit more about that through Futurecast in just a second, but we got to talk about today. Oh my goodness. Heat alerts across the country. We are under a heat advisory for the DMV. It is hot out there. I don't have to tell you that. Right now, temperatures are feeling like the low triple digits. They're reading between about 95 to 100, but we could be feeling anywhere from up to about 105 degrees because of the touch of humidity that's in the air. Now, this heat advisory is in effect till 8 o'clock tonight, but I would not be surprised if this is extended or reissued as we head into tomorrow. Waking up tomorrow morning, 60s and 70s. Right now, I'm saying about 76 in D.C. We'll be in the upper 60s for Gaithersburg into Manassas, 72 in Leesburg. We're in the mid to upper 60s as you head towards the I-81 area. When we look at your forecast, we are seeing a lot of sunshine tomorrow, so cloud cover is really not going to come through to help cool you down. So if you see one of those low clouds, oh man, enjoy it while you can. Our average high temperature right now is about 85 degrees, and we're going to hit that close to about 9 to 10 a.m. Yeah, 9 to 10 a.m. is actually going to be our average high temperature for this time of year. Afternoon highs near 100 degrees. So let's talk a little bit about heat safety. Well, if you're spending time outside, make sure you're paying attention to some of these conditions. If you feel faint or dizzy, maybe you started sweating excessively, you need to take a break, go inside, get to the air conditioning, drink some water. Now, if you stop sweating, you get a really bad headache, you lose consciousness, that's when you're probably having a heat stroke and you need to call 911. That is an emergency. So make sure that you're watching out for yourself as well as for your friends, as this hot weather isn't going anywhere today or even tomorrow. Highs tomorrow 99, 94, 91 for Thursday and Friday, but thankfully 80s and 70s are in the extended forecast, but we do have to get through this heat today and tomorrow before we get that cool off from that rain. So let's walk through it. Here's Friday. This is Saturday morning. Showers coming through early and then clearing for a brief period before another round of wet weather starts to pass through. Saturday overnight does look cloudy and gloomy. This is Sunday afternoon and evening. Widespread showers from that front we were talking about before. Right now, it doesn't look like we'll have enough energy in the atmosphere to see any storms. It just looks to be kind of gray, gloomy, and soggy. By Monday, that cold front's out of here, and we'll actually get a good amount of sunshine and a cool off. We'll get to your 7-day in just a sec, but we got to talk tropics too. Tropics have been busy. Right now, they're starting to take a little bit of a lull. We've got Tropical Depression 13. That's really the only area we're watching as of now. If we do get another named storm this season, you should be listening for the name Lee. That's the next one in line. All right, here's your 7-day. 90s through Friday, and then we start to get a little bit of a cool off. 84, 82 on Saturday and Sunday with a good amount of sunshine starting off next work week.
Okay, Michaela, thank you. So we know it was designed as a hassle-free way to beat all that Northern Virginia traffic, but a Prince William County family says the new Easy Pass Flex system hasn't been all that easy for them, overcharging them for tolls time after time.
So right now we're at about $700 in charges.
$700?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So tonight at 11, our chief investigative reporter, Eric Flack, he's going to dig into why you might want to double check your Easy Pass account the next time you drive in Northern Virginia. The News at 4 continues after this.
tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II. This coming Saturday marks 1 year since the British monarch died at age 96. That was not the Queen, but we'll tell you why this person is holding this coin. It's a commemorative coin. It honors her historic reign. Dubbed the Crown, the coin is made from nearly 8 pounds of gold.
What? Wow.
And it features 6,400 diamonds.
Ooh.
Would you like to share more?
Yeah, this basketball-sized coin, just for a perspective here, has a portrait of the late Queen and the symbols for truth, justice, and courage. You might be looking at that and saying to yourself, I wonder how much this is worth. Well, the makers of it say it's valued at roughly $23 million.
Just one question though, what do you do with that
You
basketball size
pay for
coin?
that and you
do
just
you hold it or do you lift
you show it off, you know?
No, or do you put it in like a
little glass
safe
enclosed
control?
Sort of? Yeah, I would.
You just tell people 6 feet of space.
Like, hey, you want to come to my
don't
house?
touch
I
it
have
and
this
see my
coin here, see? No big deal, you know, it's just sitting there. Yeah, it's like, what do you do after this?
You have lots of friends going, hey, can I come over for dinner? Can I see your coin?
That's all I have in my
Just
dining
go
room.
out of the room for a second.
All right, so there's a price tag, by the way, for invasive species as well, and it is $423 billion a year, according to a new report from the United Nations. Leading scientists say 200 new what's called alien species are recorded each year. Species become invasive when they establish in a new area and negative impact local biodiversity and ecosystems. Human activity, we're talking like travel and trade, often help spread alien species to new regions. Of 37,000 known invasive species, just under 10% of them are considered harmful. Okay. Thank you for joining us for our special stream of WUSA9 News at 4 o'clock. Right now, we're going to take a brief pause to get you ready for the news at 5.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.